So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to honor a special guest with a Lifetime Achievement Award, a pioneer in his industry and very much an unsung hero, and it's my job to remind you of a few things that he's too modest to tell you about himself, because he really did set in motion a whole bunch of things we now take for granted, and you may be surprised to hear some of them. How do I say a few words to a Franco-Swiss Lebanese chap born in Cairo, whom many consider a close friend, me included? It's really nice also to be able to celebrate a Lifetime Achievement Award while somebody's still at the top of their game, not about to leave or retire. Of course, we have extra pressure on me tonight because Philippe's dear wife, Valérie, is in the audience right behind him, filming me as I speak, so I've got to get this right. So the gentleman we're nominating and awarding tonight is Philippe Khoury of ADNOC. Bravo, Philippe. How do we celebrate someone like Philippe Khoury? He has worked in 8 different cities, if I get these right now: Geneva, Paris, Hong Kong, Moscow, London, Houston, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and I may have missed 1 or 2. His humble beginnings go back to when he joined Texaco in Switzerland as a graduate in Geneva. Very quickly found his way into Elf, but before that he was in a company called Gator that many of you may not remember, but this was the refinery that is now closed at Colombey in Switzerland, which they operated. So Philippe's roots are in wholesale, supply, refining, marketing, all that downstream stuff. The Philippe most of you know, of course, was hired to take ADNOC on a special journey, but more of that soon. After his time in Switzerland, Philippe found his way into Elf, and that's where most people remember him as a prodigious trader. He was running the most successful, most profitable trading book in Geneva for Elf at the time, and then he got asked to take up an assignment in Moscow. Apparently the alternative was Singapore, but he decided Moscow was going to take his career on a more vertical track, not least because his boss had been asked to take the job and declined, and his very, very up for it wife Valérie said, yes, let's do it. They had 2 children already, and the other one came while they were in Moscow, and Valérie came back to Switzerland to give birth to number 3, whilst Philippe soldiered on in Russia. And these were formative years, the mid-90s, 1993 to 1997. There were companies out there that we don't talk of anymore, like Sibneft and Lugansk Frackmaster and Yukos. Philippe was an absolute pioneer back then because he came up with novel financing options that are the stuff of legend, including trading sugar for oil with the Russians and all the financing structures that go with it. As a reward for his assignment in Moscow, he came back and got given the plum job in Elf in Paris, looking after the whole of Africa, which was the prize asset, and very much the whole Atlantic basin. And very soon after that, he found his way, after Total had done their merger thing with Elf, put in charge of what is now known as Atlantic Trading, which is basically Total in North America. And we're talking about a Houston office that has a remit spanning offices in Latin America, in the Caribbean, in North America, and handling all of the Atlantic basin flows. Philippe actually invented that entity. He created Atlantic Trading as we now know it. And if you haven't been to NPRA or the API conference in America, they host the biggest party of the conference. So there's a legacy for you, Philippe, as well. Now, conventional wisdom says that traders make lousy bankers, and bankers can never become traders. But Philippe is basically a testament to the fact that he's the exception to this. Because after all this, HSBC came calling, and the headhunters dragged him into Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation, a francophone Lebanese guy into a very British organization. And they made him vice chairman of oil and gas in Hong Kong. And this was head office, of course, but from Hong Kong, he ran a very successful venture whereby HSBC implanted people into Total Trading in Geneva mostly, to jointly come up with financing structures and origination ideas that use the capital of the bank and the trading prowess of Total. An idea I tried to sell to HSBC about 10 years beforehand, but they wouldn't have it with Shell, so it went to Total. Not a surprise, of course. Philippe very quickly got promoted from this opportunity and was sent in 2017 to vice chairman of global banking for the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. And not long after this, he became highly visible to some of the large NOCs in the Gulf. In this role in HSBC, he planted the seeds of ideas with certain Gulf NOCs, where he was literally in and out of the doorways in Dhahran with Aramco, in Abu Dhabi, in Oman, and various other places, giving people the idea that trading might not be a bad thing to do, backed by assets of these vast Middle East NOC resources. So Philippe, you are to blame for things like Aramco trading and ADNOC trading. And of course, it's no surprise that, I'm sorry, Talal, of course the template was OTI 2 decades beforehand, as we heard from you before, but it's no surprise that Dr. Sultan tapped you up at one point and said, my friend Philippe, It's time to come and do this for real, not from the bank. Come and join us here. And that's the Philippe we know today, of course. ADNOC, the face of ADNOC Commercial, head of ADNOC Trading, ADNOC Global Trading, and of course the large sales team that encompasses everything down to specialties and aviation markets. And this is, in his tenure of this time, Philippe was very much made the architect of transforming, and I think it's not overstating things to say he was the instrument of none other than the visionary Dr. Sultan Al-Jaber and his main man for commercial matters in ADNOC, Khalid Al-Salmin, to implement these visions that took ADNOC from being the vehicle whereby the Supreme Petroleum Council would grant the license to hold tenders and basically market and sale stuff in true old-fashioned style with OSPs that were retroactive, to having the vision to actually saying, hang on, we don't have to sell everything in tenders, we can be proactive, we can build trading teams. A lot of critics will say he then implanted a francophone culture into ADNOC, testament the table behind him that is largely French speakers, but they're all bloody good. So I don't want to take anything away from that. And then, of course, the idea of taking foreign partners into Ruwais was something very much driven by Philippe also. Moving the clock forward, the IFAD conference, the IFAD idea of building the exchange and releasing Murban crude to be freely tradable and to be fully accessible on the exchange was very much a Philippe thing also, and implemented successfully. And I'm pleased to say that many parties in the room, Vitol included, were part of doing that. But as part of this process, ADNOC became the biggest trader in some of these instruments, taking market share from many of you, and especially from Vitol. We look at your naphtha desk these days with a lot of envy because it's you and Aramco and everyone else is down there somewhere. So many congratulations, Philippe, for doing something which then enabled you to introduce a bonus culture. Unheard of 10 years ago that ADNOC would be paying competitive bonuses to traders and attracting people from across the industry and from outside of the Gulf. So fast forward to where we are today. ADNOC now has a Singapore office. ADNOC is announcing very soon the location of their European office, and America next, I should think. There's not much more we can say other than the future would appear to be fixed already. You've set up a biofuels desk, you've set up a carbon desk, you're into LNG trading, and COP28 will give you plenty of tailwind to lead in that regard also, as we heard in the earlier talk. So Philippe, it gives me great pleasure now to congratulate you on your appointment and to invite His Excellency, His Highness Sheikh Salih bin Mohammed bin Hamad Al Sharqi to come to stage to present you. Sir, Your Highness, I'm sorry, right here. Please join His Excellency on stage, Philippe, and many congratulations.
There is nothing much to be said after what Mike has said. I think he stole my presentation, but I must admit he prepared this in the last 10 minutes. Pretty good exercise. Your Highness, Sheikh Salih Al-Sharqi, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Your Excellencies, esteemed guests, friends and families, today I stand before you deeply honored to receive this Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of Gulf Intelligence. Your acknowledgement is both a testament to my journey and the collective endeavors of all who walk alongside me, and I see many in the room tonight. Mike, your kind words have not gone unnoticed. I'm truly humbled, especially by your personal involvement in what you said. Thank you, Mike. Reflecting on my career, I'm reminded of how opportunities to forge significant change in our industry have consistently presented themselves. Spanning 3.5 decades in trading, My family's support has been unwavering. My wife is here. As we journeyed across 8 continents, as Mike said, 4 continents, and 8 cities. The mobility was essential to navigate the dynamic nature of the commodity trading markets. Starting in downstream and swiftly transitioning to trading with Elf Trading in Geneva, as Mike said, in the early 80s, was my entry into the transformative arena of this business. Throughout my career trajectory, I've had the privilege of assuming diverse leadership roles, from serving as head of feedstock trading to becoming the president of CEO of Atlantic Trading in Houston, and subsequent key roles in HSBC, as Mike mentioned. I've experienced from within the monumental consolidation of energy giants like Total, FINA, ELF, Exxon, Mobil, Shell, and British Gas. My later roles in investment banking, harmoniously blending with my trading background, allowed me to develop specific skills. This blend empowered me to offer fresh perspectives to the various national oil companies, reshaping and prioritizing investments to address the traditional inertia inherent to our industry. My association with ADNOC, a beacon institution, began in 2017 when I had the fortune of meeting His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Sultan Al Jaber. His transformative vision of ADNOC to lead the UAE in a rapidly evolving energy landscape perfectly complemented my suggestions, especially to shift from classical sales to trading. In 2018, when I took charge of ADNOC's sales and trading division, we faced a sea of challenges, but with a robust team and unwavering determination, we ensured no stone remained unturned and no opportunity missed. Collaborative efforts have always been at the heart of our endeavors. With the dedication of colleagues, and partners, many of you are here tonight, some who have graced this event today, we created ADNOC Global Trading and ADNOC Trading. Today, these entities stand tall with global outreach, backed by over 450 individuals, each expert in their domain. One of our crown achievements has been our ability to weave a fabric of global expertise with local talent. We have integrated highly skilled and motivated UAE professionals with our seasoned international traders, nurturing a vibrant thread of talent and culture. This blend, rooted deeply in shared values, has propelled us to deliver stellar performance and establish robust organizational structures. A milestone moment of our journey was in 2021, collaboration with the Intercontinental Exchange, ICE, to launch the Murban Future Contract. Murban is Abu Dhabi's flagship crude oil. This move elevated the Murban to trade alongside global titans with future physical contract delivered right here in the Emirate of Fujairah. Indeed, Port of Fujairah's significance cannot be overstated. Its strategic geographical position and cutting-edge infrastructure have been invaluable. ADNOC's onshore 360 kilometers crude oil pipeline from Habshan in Abu Dhabi oil fields and ADNOC's underground strategic stocks, oil storage, present here in Mandous are testaments of the existing synergy between our organizations. In short, the growth narrative of Fujairah and ADNOC are intrinsically intertwined, promising a future teeming with mutual growth, innovation, and success. This award, while a personal honor, is truly a celebration of the collective. It is a nod to everyone's endeavor, every challenge faced, and every success celebrated together, particularly here in Fujairah. I genuinely believe our strategic alignment, bolstered by the UAE's visionary leadership, sets the stage for unparalleled success in the years to come. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to Gulf Intelligence and the International Selection Committee for this recognition. It serves as a reminder of our shared journey and the milestones yet to come. Thank you very much.